Hi, I'm Dr. Ari Yaris, and I blog at www.ariyaris.com at The Innovative Dad. And I wanted to stop by and talk a little bit tonight about tattling. She pushed me, he took this, and we've been spending so much time in our houses lately that it's not a surprise that we're dealing with some tattling. It's sort of all over the place because our kids are constantly on top of each other. And, you know, I, it is always one of those, child behaviors that drives us nuts as parents, um, but that we often feel powerless to do anything about it with our kids essentially, informing on the behavior of somebody else, to an adult. And it's interesting, kids do it a lot. It drives us nuts because we're like, just do whatever you need to be doing and like, go stop bothering me. Um, but our kids do it, and our kids do all the things they do because they're functional, because they provide some sort of, uh, fill some sort of need for them or take care of something. And our kids tend to tattle about things like, disputes over stuff, uh, physical aggression, obviously, and then, general rule violation of any kind. Um, and in some of the research that's been done by this, there's actually some evidence that it usually is, there's something to the tattling. Um, and that, for most of these kids, the goal is really for children to get some kind of help for themselves and or to get the other child in trouble. And in some cases, it's really enforcing the rules. But why do kids do this? Essentially, because it works. We generally respond to the tattling in some way, shape, or form. Teachers, when kids are in school, respond to the tattling in some way, shape, or form, and that seems to help. Uh, and the other thing to sort of bear in mind is that tattling is sort of this pathway that we're going to have the kids on between sort of direct physical aggression. So if you remember when our kids were younger than the tattling age, essentially when they become verbal, but they would deal with Johnny taking their truck by slapping Johnny or biting Johnny because they didn't have the verbal skills to deal with it. So they just directly dealt with it with a physical tool. Versus, what we want to have happen as adults is, a little bit more of a deeper interpersonal problem solving going on. Your 2-year-old is likely to, haul off and hit you if there's a problem or hit the other child. And as kids get older, your preschoolers will do more tattling. Older kids will start to gossip about it. And then, and as you get towards teens, you see a little bit less of that tattling. A little less with peers. I would say I don't know that it completely goes away with siblings, with older kids. And it also has a little bit to do with kids' moral development. So bear that in mind. They're trying to figure out, how do rules work and how are rules enforced, particularly in the absence of that adult parent figure in the room with them. So that's sort of some of the reasoning behind why tattling is happening. How do we deal with it? What do we do? That proverbial, she pushed me, she took my whatever. Um, as long as we start from recognizing the place that this is a way that we're going to support our kids to develop better problem solving skills, we want to really start at a simple level of you know let's offer some empathy. And I tend to start all of my problem solving there. We want to recognize that kids are showing some self control, that they didn't hit the peer or the sibling. Um, the goal here is to be supportive, but not leap to a solution uh, for that child who has been doing the tattling, because that then helps them draw the conclusion that that's how we solve these problems. I go to the adult and they take care of it for me, and that's just not great. Now, the other piece is that you want to work on dealing with the difference between big stuff and little stuff. Um, so telling versus tattling is often what we talk about it. And I think that that's something really important to help distinguish when we're looking at it. So, things to sort of have them think about, is what you're telling me true? Is it helpful? Is it important? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Or if you really want to go like really simple, a wise friend once said to me, are you trying to get somebody out of danger or into trouble with what you're telling me? And I think that really is important to think about it that way, because we don't want kids to put them in a position where, they don't tell us about Timmy being down the well. Because if Timmy's down the well, like that's a problem, and we want to be told about that. The difference in telling would be, Timmy was playing by the well. Tattling would be Timmy was playing by the well, and that's not great. Other questions you can be asking to help sort of distinguish between big stuff and little stuff is anybody going to get hurt? Is anything going to get broken? Did you try and solve this on your own? And if the answer to these questions is sort of no, then this is something we really want the kids to be resolving without adult involvement. And I think that the key piece here is that we want to encourage direct problem solving. We want our kids to get in that. We're looking to have that move to that next stage of social development. So we want to ask them questions that are going to help them think about, how do I go back and solve the situation where I am having a problem? What could you do to solve this? What might you say to him? Is there another solution that you could try? What might you do while we're waiting for him to come back over to talk to us? What would you do if he's not going to listen to your solution? Very often we have kids that propose, I have a compromise. It's not really a compromise. It's that they've given an inch and they're expecting the other person to give a mile. So it's not a significant jump there. So asking them, well, if that doesn't work, what are you going to do? Where are you going to be? And are you going to get stuck? So all these are sort of important strategies for dealing with that tattling. And listen, and we need to acknowledge where we are emotionally with it. It is really annoying. And if you're sitting on a Zoom call right now and your kid is coming up on you to tattle on their sibling, you're going to be miffed and annoyed, to put it mildly. So, always with any of these parenting solutions, you need to make sure that you've centered yourself, that you've put your oxygen mask on first. And if you do that, you're in a better position to help them be able to manage this and to be able to evolve and to grow and to develop out of this tattling stage and into a stage where they're able to engage in much more productive problem solving, because that at its heart is really what we want to have happen with tattling. We want them to move from, informing to being able to be engaging in their own problem solving. So I hope this is helpful with your parenting challenges that are facing you. As always, you can find me on Facebook at The Innovative Dad. You can also find me on my website at www.ariaris.com or on Instagram at ariaris. And I look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to drop me a line with your parenting questions. And if you're a Maryland resident, during this current stay-at-home order, I am conducting teletherapy services. So I'm happy to work with you as a parent and the challenges that you're facing, or with your child, and you can reach out and schedule an appointment with me through my website. So stay safe and have a great evening.